guess that's a good
boy.
segue, unless you guys have something funny.
Nope, let's keep the good segue.
Let's keep the good segue. Alright then. So then, people, this was kind of spoiled to me by someone, but when it was... Death stare at Sean. But that didn't destroy my hype for it. In my reaction, I was still happy to see what we got. And after so long, after we're nearly 3 months away from the end of the year, I'm not even kidding, people.
We're already halfway through the season, though, so it's going quick.
Yeah, but this is episode 9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Alright, people on Discord, keep it down. Speaking of, we are finally getting Bill Cipher versus Discord.
Yay!
You know, before we did this recording, I completely forgot Discord had a soundboard. We haven't used it in some time.
So
he's been using it this entire time. What are you talking about?
No, I'm saying
Bill
before we
hasn't
did
been
this
paying
record. No, I'm saying before we did this recording, that I forgot we had it. See, Wolf, this is what happens when you don't listen. Bad puppy. Bad puppy. Anyway, so how's
He'd
this?
be an electric if he was a puppy. Anyway.
You guys are such nerds, all 3 of you.
I was gonna say this was
If
the
you're
winner.
going to make it hurt, you have to be accurate.
Oh, you want me to be?
When is Bill ever accurate?
Okay, Wolf, you want me to be accurate and hurt you? Okay then.
This was the winner of the To The Champions Ballot poll.
Yes.
We'll get to the 3D one later on this year. Probably might be a season finale. Who knows?
Who knows? It might even be the next episode.
Could be.
Secretly just excited. I'm the only one that's secretly excited for Cole
Wait,
versus Alex
don't you
at this
know
point.
every next episode until it comes out is always going to be Colex until proven otherwise.
Anyway, oh jeez, Christ, we should have gotten Jaru instead. Anyway, so Bill Cipher versus Discord.
Yes.
I feel weird talking about a bill. Okay, so how is this episode being labeled?
You're the one that has to. You have to be the one to argue for him too.
I know,
so.
that's what's kind of also weird. Right then, so how's this episode being labeled? Is it Bill Cipher versus Discord, or is it Discord versus...
Yes, it's Bill Cipher versus Discord.
Yeah, the one with the best name first. Right then.
Oh boy, stuff has gone on with this episode.
Immediately you say that, suddenly you are now banned from Discord.
Oh my god, why do I feel like we're gonna make so many Discord jokes out of this? Anyway, so...
We might.
I mean, they already kind of did that when they teased this at the end of Death Battlecast.
Anyway, trying to stay on track, motherfuckers. So, Bill Cipher versus Discord. So, when this episode was announced, I was excited only for the Bill side. And no, that's not because of my name, despite we both look equally good looking. So how do I know?
Triangle. So you're saying that you look geometric.
All I'm saying is there is a part of me that the women do like that could be said to look like a triangle. But anyway. So when this...
Torso?
Anyway, motherfucker, do I need to bring out the Glock again?
Look. No, because this episode has done.
Golem break into this?
This episode's done some tragic things to the community, and it's absurd.
Oh god.
Okay,
yeah.
do you know? Yeah, before we
boy.
actually, before we talk about,
We're not gonna address.
Yeah, I guess before we
Okay.
actually talk about the characters, Sean, why don't you? Because you kind of teased this in the crossover we did.
I only talked about it because after the specific incident happened, it got publicly tweeted. So that's why I know about what happened.
Right.
I just
So.
want to reference that for what happened. So the story goes, according to that tweet I saw a long time ago, the server had open a discussion section for this episode when it was announced, and they had it for also Cole versus Alex.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently it got so bad, and after so many warnings and disciplinary actions, the moderators shut down discussion of that thread because of how bad it got, because people weren't listening time and time again. It pissed everybody off, so they shut that down. People got mad that they shut down the communication, well, that specific channel for it, for whatever reason. I don't get why you were mad, when you broke the rules time and time again, when you didn't listen to the people who made the rules, and just made this a huge headache for a lot of other fans.
Mm-hmm.
It got that bad.
People are like that. Oh, it didn't just get that bad. Not only did they get rid of not only did they lock the discussion on that, they also locked discussion on that fight anywhere, and I'm pretty sure they also limited discussion on any MLP matchups, period, if I remember correctly.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that much. I was remembering from what I saw in that one tweet about.
Yeah, it got pretty bad. It was mostly the Discord side. The Bill Cipher side was not really being all that toxic.
Bill Cipher's side, from what I heard, was just being weird, like Bill Cipher, and they're just like, you know what? That's fitting.
Yeah.
Buy crypto. Okay, so as much as it is tragic, we have to kind of open up with this controversy. I mean, this is kind of fun to talk about, but we did kind of talk about toxic fandoms. Was it 2 years ago? Or was this like... I'm trying to remember, was this like last year's season or the year before? Or even the year before that? We've been doing this for a long time.
What episode?
I'm trying... Listen, man, we've done over 100 episodes, which, by the way, you should check our 100 episode special, people.
Yay.
But I'll be honest, just won't go into full, like, explanation about toxic fandoms, but despite I'm not part of that Discord server, it is kind of tragic. This is another matchup that has to be in that toxic discussion thing. Like, it's always tragic when like a matchup that can either be really interesting just has some rotten eggs that follow it. Like Goku versus Superman. That is an iconic and big nerd debate. Like, even as a kid, I used to always talk with my friends about who would win between Goku and Superman. I was always on Team Goku. Boy, that's changed. And this episode, I didn't really think was on that sort of level. I was like, okay, yeah, they're both kind of similar. How bad could it be? And then I saw the tweet.
Do not know the power of the MLP fan base to be toxic when they want to be.
Yeah, it's kind of tragic when it comes to fans because every fandom is toxic. Mate is pointing this out. Like
no, I can give a counterpoint to that. Kirby.
No, they can also be quite toxic as well. I've seen a few, like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, every fandom's toxic in some way. Maybe it'd be more vocal. Maybe it's more obvious. Sometimes you might not even notice it unless you look deep onto like Reddit, Twitter, and all that stuff.
I mean, that's less the fan base being toxic and more so those sites because they both can be very toxic. But yeah, okay. I get your point.
Hot take.
Or even then, just certain individuals.
Hot take, it's not the website, it's the people. But that's what I'm saying, like, it is a shame that this episode is attracting that. I can't imagine what it must have been like when this episode was announced. Like, and Mate and Sean even told me it was revealed on the podcast. So this was even revealed before Martian Manhunter vs. Silver Surfer came out. So it's like, I'm just thinking...
Yep, it was real. Well, technically it was real at the end of last season. But yeah, they announced right before, on the podcast before Martian Manhunter vs. Silver Surfer came out, that it was going to be the next episode. So...
And to me, I was just there like, oh boy, either this is gonna escalate with people getting mad, or even worse.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because both these two characters, I mean, I'm just going by one character to be fair, because I'm not too familiar with Discord side. There's small characteristics I got from the crossover, but that was a long time ago now.
Both of them are actually really interesting, I will say that. I would argue Discord was easily the most popular villain that MLP had ever done, to the point that when he premiered in the first episode of the second season, he was instantly beloved by the entire community. And then when the second season's finale came around, that villain, which they tried to make more interesting, it was like, ooh, not as many people really liked her or that episode. Like, Discord immediately set the bar for what the fan base is expected for villains.
Funny enough...
Weird, wacky, what the fuck am I looking at villain?
Yeah,
not so much just a weird, wacky, what the fuck am I looking at villain, but we can get into that later.
Yeah, so we discussed, like, the controversy opening, so shall we actually get to the characters?
Yep. Well, before we do that, I also just want to throw this out there. I'm completely neutral in this.
So
like, I have no strong feelings one way or the other. I kind of Just give me a fun fight and I'll be happy.
Mate,
Though,
If I don't make it, tell my wife hello.
Mate, you've literally said that
Thank
nearly
you.
every episode this season. Oh, sorry.
I may not have like a horseness rate in terms of like emotional attachment or anything. Like at the end of the day, I just want a fun fight. I'm just like, hey, if the episode's fun, then I'm down for it. Yeah, it really goes to show. Though, one thing I will say, this makes 5.
Fair enough.
Yep.
5 commissioned episodes turned official.
Yep.
God, if they
I
start...
don't know why I keep using How I Met Your Mother moments.
Oh, we know why, mate. But yeah, so
Anyway.
let's actually start talking about these characters. Of course, starting off with Bill. One, because I'm the host of this podcast, so I can do whatever the fuck I want, Homelander style.
And also his name comes first.
That as well. When I say Homelander style, not in the way I'd vaporize people, don't give me ideas, Wolf. Bill Cipher. So, first of all, Gravity Falls, without going into too much of it, is an amazing show. Jaru did a video ranking all the episodes. I will leave a link to that video in the description because it is really good. And when I was recommended this episode so many years ago by both Yang the Insane, Jaru, and Richard, I was always thinking, it just seems like another Disney Saturday morning cartoon. Is it as interesting as they're making it sound? First episode got me hooked. Bill Cipher made me stay. So, how does Bill Cipher first appear? So, who knows of the character Gideon? Everyone's favourite little creep.
You mean this whack job with a terrible Elvis hair impression?
Pretty much. Gideon, of course, has been constantly thwarted because he is so obsessed with his love for one of the main characters. Too bad, they say, you're a fucking creep. So, what does Gideon do? He thinks, I'm gonna summon a demon, as every creep does in their life. I mean, most people would hack their emails, but this seems like the most ethical in this Cipher series. And he summons one of the most powerful, or not even one of, the most powerful demon in Gravity Falls. And now he does this really big summon as the forest is shaking, there's a tornado. He starts saying backwards messages, literally backwards, I'm not even kidding.
Backwards message.
He starts talking backwards and he's literally saying backwards messages. It's hilarious.
I think Gideon needs one of these.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's the other thing. Not only is he a simp, he's also kind of the most powerful, mortal being in Gravity Falls itself. Because he's kind of its mayor, and also he's a massive dickwad.
okay, he's powerful in the sense of money. Compared to Bill Cipher, though, yeah, Bill Cipher put him in his place.
Yep.
Like, the first moment he appears, the first thing you see is a Dorito with a top hat. So you're probably thinking, wow, after all that build-up, you summon a Dorito. Well, what's the first thing he does? Well, he starts slowing down time, pulls some teeth out of a deer's mouth with telekinesis, gives them to him, and then puts them right back in. And he even does that really creepy little introduction when Gideon is like, how do you know my name? I know lots of things. Lots of things. Bill Cipher quickly showed that, okay, he's a little insane, but he's probably just another typical villain that's not going to play a big role in Gravity Falls. As the show goes on, Bill Cipher shows why not only does Stanley fear him, but why the entire universe fears Bill Cipher. Because if Bill Cipher ever gets to full power, he could threaten the entire universe. And I will say, in terms of personalities, and especially compared to Disney villains, like modern Disney villains, Bill Cipher is hands down the most entertaining villain Disney has ever had.
There's
Yeah,
a lot of
I can agree with that.
there's a
Yeah.
lot of compilations of just his quotes.
Oh my god, like, he has so many memorable quotes.
That's another thing also. Gravity Falls is very short, so in terms of how much time Bill gets on screen, it's not much. But what he gets, he uses well.
Yeah. So now his whole thing is that he wants to get to full power by getting the he basically is searching for some way to make him also powerful, and when he finally does get that ultimate power, he pretty much threatens to destroy the world. And that's only just a minimum use of his power. And he goes from a very funny character, like a funny little typical villain, to, in his final episode, he drops the whole joking act. When he finally has, like, the characters in his hand, he goes like, hey, I've got the kid. I think I'm going to kill one of them just for the heck of it. Starts doing eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And it's like, fucking hell, he's serious.
Yeah.
And if you go by the symbols in his eyes, like who he was going to choose, he was going to kill a fan favorite character as well, like. And in terms of how he got beaten, it was kind of a loophole, because, okay, so here's the thing about Bill Cipher. So I'm not sure how they're going to exactly do his full potential. Are they going to go by the lore of the character like they've done with previous episodes this season? Or are they going to go by how they showed his powers? Because obviously in the show-wise, he didn't use his full potential because mostly he was fucking around. Like, he's shown he can be physically strong, but he's also shown that when he's not being serious, he can easily knock himself out, like when he hit himself in the eye with his own laser.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously it's going to be interesting how they do this. So, I think one of my favourite moments with Bill Cipher just has to be with him and, like, Stanley. Like, the final episode when he's in his head and just how he starts mocking him until he realizes he was in the wrong person. And
yeah, so I can explain that also. So, for those who don't know, Grunkle Stan, the guy who appears in every intro, he has a twin brother who is much smarter than him, Stanford Pines. And Stanford is the one Bill wanted to merge with, so in the final episode, he essentially gives himself up so that way Bill can go into his brain, but it's actually a trick because it's Stanley that takes that spot instead, pretending to be his brother, and they use a weird little gun thing to essentially erase Stan's memories, and since Bill is in his mind, that includes erasing Bill as well.
Allegedly, because, spoilers for the show, it's been out for a long time, he gets his memory back. So kind of, in my opinion, a quick little review of that, I feel as though that kind of ruined the whole sacrifice, he was going to allow it.
Yeah,
so,
a lot of people agreed with that too.
Yeah, still a fantastic finale, just it could have been so much better if they kept the whole sacrifice. But Bill does talk backwards again, and it kind of hints at Bill Cipher returning, and technically he does in The Simpsons. And it's debated whether or not is this actually Bill Cipher who came back and he got sent to another universe. We don't know it, but the writer did confirm that Bill could still be alive. But
not only that, Alex Hirsch, the creator of Gravity Falls, also set out creating an AR game, an AR scavenger hunt, where that was actually themed around Bill Cipher, and it's, I believe, stated to not only be canon, I think it's also technically a redemption arc, if I remember correctly, for him.
Okay, please don't.
I don't remember the full details about that, though.
Okay, please don't
I'm just knowing what I've heard.
Please don't make Bill go for a redemption arc. It could work for a character like Vegeta, not a man that was literally planning on destroying the universe.
It's a weird redemption. It's not like a direct redemption, so don't worry about it.
Okay.
And I don't know how. It's just something I figured I'd mention about, is he alive still or not?
What a wacky fella this Bill is.
Yeah, Bill's pretty wacky.
He's also just entertaining. Like, when he first pulls out those deer teeth and gives it to Gideon, and Gideon's like, "You're insane. Sure, what's your deal?" And the thing that's interesting about Bill is that when he first Gideon's demanding orders, Bill Cipher was originally going to think, "No, I'm not going to listen to you." But the moment he mentioned Stanley, he's like, "Ooh, Stanley."
Stan Pines.
Yeah, and
Stan Pines.
Hey, that was actually a pretty good Bill Cipher impression.
Thank you.
And then, so obviously he's not willing to work with Gideon, but, he doesn't, he could choose not to, but when he realizes how both their plans align, he was like, okay, we got it. Now, how Bill Cipher works is, he works around deals. So if he makes a deal with you, he has to also agree to it. But of course, it's typical like genie fashion. Like if you're not specific with your thing, he will find a loophole around it. Like if you say like, I want.
He's very much a devil figure in that regard.
Yeah, it's
where
like,
you'll get what you want, you'll get what you're asked for, but not necessarily what you want.
Yeah, it could be like, oh, I want all the gold in the world. Sure. Drops a golden tower on you and crushes you. It's like, oh, sorry, did you not want that to crush you? And I'm not saying that's happened, but that's kind of his mindset where he knows what you want, and he's done that with a lot of characters, even like the main characters. He's like manipulated them, thinking, oh yeah, listen, we could both work this out. We could both come up with a deal. Only when his full plan's revealed, it's more so like, oh, no, maybe you shouldn't trust Bill.
That's why he did that. Oh, okay, yeah. Ugh. That kind of thing. From the character's perspective, anyway.
He could go so psychotic as well. Like, I still remember, like, I can't remember what it was called, Time Baby or something like that. This interdimensional thing. So at first he's all like joking, pretending to be scared, and then he just goes into like a scream and tantrum, like, oh no, not this, how about this? And just vaporizes him. I was like, that just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's kind of Bill's thing. When he's screwing around, he's a threat. When he's getting serious, you're screwed.
Yeah, I still love like when he's ginormous and he's the size of Earth. He just puts his fingers down, he's all joking around, and goes like boop, and just starts scraping around the forest with his giant finger, crushing it. It's like, wow. Like, and of course, in the big finale, the moment like he was nearly defeated by the kids, he got so angry he was playing eeny, meeny, miny, mo, just deciding on who to kill.
Yeah, as a character, it's one of those guys that you think he's going to be a joke character, but then he's absurdly broken.
Yeah. Or it's also just his personality, just how rapidly he could switch to psychotic. But that's why I kind of like him. Like, obviously, is he on the level of Darth Vader or Sauron? No, but is he entertaining to watch? Yes, he is so entertaining. And I think he voices both Bill, the actor who voices both Bill Cipher, and doesn't he also voice like Stanley and his brother?
No, Stanley is voiced by a different character entirely, and his brother is voiced by Jake Simmons.
Okay, I might just got information mixed up. I could have sworn like Bill Cipher's actor also voices another character in the show.
He doesn't voice another character on the show, but he does voice King from Owl House.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
Small world. Wow, small world.
Speaking of a small world.
Yeah, so...
And again, I don't know how small this guy is.
Yeah, so, okay, so as much as I want to talk more about Bill Cipher, let's actually give Discord a bit of time to shine, and who better to talk about him than a wolf? Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Just talk about him, wolf.
In a way. Alright, so... Have any of you seen Star Trek Next Generation?
I have a friend who's super into Star Trek and told me he wanted Discord to fight someone from Star Trek.
Okay, have you ever heard of a character named Q?
Yes.
Vaguely.
That is basically what Discord is, but as a My Little Pony character. So, Discord
Same
is
actor as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. John Delancey. So, Discord is what is known as a Draconiquus. He is a creature that has the head of a pony and the body of basically everything else you could possibly make, formed into a sort of serpentine being. He is the literal embodiment of chaos itself. When you first see him, he's actually frozen as a statue because it was put that way by the two leaders of Equestria, Princess Celestia and Princess Luna. Yeah, that's basically what he is. Basically, Discord likes to fuck around with everybody and everything because he doesn't really care about anybody else. All he cares about is causing... We'll get to that. He only cares about causing as much chaos as possible. The more chaos and disharmony that is around him when he's in that statue form is what eventually frees him. A bunch of minor characters start having a minor disagreement near his statue, and it eventually causes him to break free. He is trying to describe what Discord can do is all kinds of weird. When the characters first, directly encounter him, he's already in the castle, in Equestria's castle, and the main characters of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic have been called there by Celestia to try and put him away. Possibly permanently if they can, but that is a difficult thing to ask with a being of his power. He basically tricks them into thinking he has stolen the elements of harmony, which are 6 magical MacGuffins from the previous season's premiere, which was season 1, and basically hidden them somewhere. And using clever wordplay, basically tricks them into going into a maze, which is a trap for him. He takes away their magic and their ability to fly, so they're forced to navigate this maze by foot, and essentially gets them to all split up as he takes them out one by one, tricking them into basically completely reversing what their elements represent. So, for example, Pinkie Pie is the representative of the element of laughter. So what he does is tricks her into thinking, oh yeah, laughter is great, until everyone's laughing at you.
Would you say his plan is amazing?
Or he takes...
I'm not sorry.
Applejack, who is the element of honesty, and basically makes her think, yeah, when people are honest, sometimes they can be really screwed up, and they say some things you don't want to hear. So he tricks her into being lying. He tricks Rarity, the element of generosity, into being so incredibly greedy, she thinks a regular old rock, that's just a regular old boulder, is a massive diamond of super powerful, of like incredible value. The only one he oddly can't get that to work on is Fluttershy, so who's the element of kindness. And she's such a sweet and kind being that any attempt to make her cruel doesn't work until he basically forces her into being cruel.
Sounds like he needed a new kind of plan.
And finally, Rainbow Dash, the one who started the whole MLP being in Death Battle thing, he forces her into thinking that he's going to destroy her hometown of Cloudsdale, that she leaves the maze, which breaks the rules that he had set up, and thus he basically gets control over all of Equestria. Not just one area or two, the entire thing, and he warps it through reality warping. And if it weren't for Celestia basically getting Twilight Sparkle to basically realize, oh yeah, friendship is an actually valuable thing, she basically was ready to give up entirely on the idea of even trying to stop Discord. They eventually stop him, but Celestia, being the way that she is, being kind of a troll and also weirdly wise, basically willingly breaks him out because she thinks, yeah, he's a being of pure discord, pure chaos, and just causing all kinds of problems. But if utilized right, he could actually be a good force for harmony, oddly enough. And slowly over the course of several episodes, while he is kind of an ass, he's, not a threat, all thanks to Fluttershy, the most sweet being ever created in the show, who is so, kind-hearted and loving that she can even tame literal fucking bears. She basically gets him into realizing, I never actually had friends. Maybe I can try to give this whole harmony thing a little bit of a shot, as long as I still get to do some minor actual chaos. Because it turns out, if he ever stops trying to be chaotic, he actually starts disappearing from reality itself.
I don't know why, I'm getting some
That's how much he needs chaos.
I'm getting some, Vegeta vibes, really popular character, gets so popular he becomes a good guy, but still has that sort of needs for destruction.
Yeah, it kind of is the case. It comes to a point where in the finale of, I think, season 4, he comes across arguably the big bad of the entire series, Tyrek, a centaur that can literally absorb magic out of anybody that he wants to by basically devouring that magic and sucking it out of them just by opening his mouth, just magically absorbing it from them.
Like a vacuum cleaner.
Kind of. No, it's not anything like that, Bill. But
I'm just saying, his method does really suck.
He basically tricks Discord into working alongside him and helping to drain the power of other beings, including betraying his friends. And then Turek, being the way he is, betrays him. It's only when Turek offers up to Twilight all of her friends to basically sparing their lives in order for her to give up the magic that she'd willingly been given by herself and 3 other alicorns, Celestia, Luna, and Cadence. And it's only when she says, free them and I'll give it up to you, all of them, Discord included, that he finally is just like, wow, I actually didn't realize how much people actually cared about me. Even though I betrayed all of them, they still actually care.
Okay, it's kind of he's an interesting character. He's not just typical, I'm evil, I can do whatever I want, so shut the fuck up. It's more so like,
He starts out that way, but he basically just wants to have fun. He is, in a way, he's very similar to Bill, but to Bill Cipher, but if he actually really wanted to try, he could actually cause problems. He actually slowly corrupted the Tree of Harmony, which is where the elements of harmony gain all their power from, and when that thing starts getting corrupted, the entire world essentially starts going into apocalypse mode, where life starts dying. That's not sentient life. Animals start going crazy, even more so than normal. Magic starts going all kinds of wonky, and he kind of did that intentionally, but he kind of did that plan years in advance before Celestia and Luna actually sealed him away using the elements of harmony. So he's also pretty good at long-term strategy as well as very quick short-term thinking on a plan.
Okay.
Man, this guy puts class clowns to shame.
Yeah, he's actually he is easily the most popular villain that they've had, but obviously gets redeemed. But it's thanks to him and some of the other characters in the entire show, they eventually seal away permanently Turek, Queen Chrysalis, and I forget her name because I actually kind of, believe it or not, I have not actually fully caught up on the show. I know that's sacrilege to some people, but yeah, he puts away 3 villains that had decided they're going to work together to try and stop everybody. He helps out, not to the extent of fully putting them down himself, but he ends up helping everybody out with that. So in a way, yeah, he is kind of like a mix of Vegeta and Bill Cipher in that regard. Popular villain, people loved him, and then just slowly turned him good. Yeah, that's another thing. He's kind of also, thanks to since Fluttershy was the one that started his redemption arc, he and her are kind of a thing.
So
I think I remember hearing about that from someone.
Yeah.
I think that was actually on the Pro Bus cast when we did a crossover.
Yep.
So need a SIM card?
No, it's not a SIM card. In this case, it's like she turned him that way. She Made a good man out of him. Or a good Draconicus out of him.
So she's his Bulma.
Yeah, in a way. She is his Bulma in that regard.
See, people, that's all villains need. They just need to fuck.
Oh, God.
Listen, Darth Sidious...
Don't encourage people that way, Bill.
Look,
don't encourage them that way.
All I'm saying...
That's gonna...
Fanfic writers, go nuts.
All I'm saying...
they already have. I'm not gonna... I don't really want to say this, but there's a massive community for that kind of thing there, Sean.
Oh, please.
And I don't just mean in the fan fiction department.
Oh, trust me, I'm pretty sure there's like 34 different fandoms that are into that.
Yeah, it's kind of a rule for that to be a thing.
I see what you did there.
And Wolf went into it as well.
I don't get it.
It will explain to you when you're older.
Yeah, see, we'll explain to you when you're older, and then you will get to discover why people
when you're
really
older. When you're older.
Yes, 1 year older is what he meant.
Anyway.
Right, so we've talked a lot about their character, so let's see what they're capable of. So, Bill Cipher, I've taken some notes, I did binge the whole show again, still a fantastic show. It is kind of funny when I was looking at my notes. I was like, build notes. I was like, oh yeah, for the death battle. I was like, wait, is this my to-do list? It's like, oh no, it's death battle. I really should have called my note.
No, it's about how you could stop being a jerk in Among Us all the time and keep killing me first.
Step 1, make sure you're not related to Z-Dog.
Among Us.
God damn it.
Speaking of Among Us, there's a lot of powers amongst Bill Cipher. I've already established that despite how powerful it is stated of him, he is kind of, as when the show started off, he's in a loophole where he can't reach his full potential. He needs, like, I don't want to spoil the show because I don't want to spoil too much of it, but I do recommend people watch the show, right? Gravity Falls is really good. It's only like 2 seasons. Like, you could just binge it, and each episode's like 20 minutes. Like, seriously, people, you could just binge it in like a whole day if you wanted, and still have like the afternoon. So, go nuts. Assuming you haven't slept through the morning, I guess. So, the powers of Bill Cipher. He can stop time, so, you know, who wants to make the joke? Really? No one?
No.
You're making me look stupid, people. I mean, that's not hard to do. That's not hard to do. I can do that myself thanks to my Let's Plays, but still. So, yeah, he can freeze time. He can manipulate his surroundings. Like, one moment, he spawns a floating head, which then starts shouting. But it goes to show that he could just basically summon whatever he needs. But when he gets to his full potential, he starts getting a little bit more weird. And that brings us to Weirdmageddon. So when he finally reaches his somewhat full potential, he's capable of, like, growing to planet sizes. He's capable of crushing entire planets. He's capable of, like, vaporizing, like, reality warping type of characters. And even though he doesn't really fight, he doesn't really need to, because even characters that do try and fight him, he doesn't put any effort into it, because he just knows he could just basically tear you apart so much. Like, even physically, like, he's physically strong enough to, like, rip a mech's leg off. Like, with his pure strength. And even then, he can, like, he can crush, like, mountains, he can crush, like, planets, like I said. Obviously, he grows to the size of them, because, you know, you can't exactly hold a planet with his tiny hands. He can read minds. He could, like, change the matter of, like, his opponents, like, basically, like, alter their atoms. So we might have another Silver Surfer issue on our hands. Difference is, though, he's going up against someone who could probably also do that, I'm assuming.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that Discord can do.
Healing factor. He can also open up portals to other dimensions if he wanted to. So please, Death Battle, just do one moment where they're in another Death Battle. That's all we want.
Well, that might not necessarily be impossible with what either one of these two can do.
Yeah. He can summon, like, multiple variations of himself, which I'm not sure if this is just him fucking around, because, I mean, Bill Cipher not taking things seriously, unheard of. It seems as though when he duplicates themselves, they act as their own character, including when one of them kills the other Bill Cipher. So it's like, is that him just fucking around, or is that person he even makes a joke like, oh, I never liked him. It's like, were you another Bill Cipher? I might be overthinking it, but that's just something I was thinking about when I watched the episode. So yeah, he could just basically, like, duplicate himself, and they all have the exact same power. So it's not like with the Shazam power where, oh, if he starts giving it to other people, he gets weaker and weaker. It's like, no, he can duplicate himself no matter how much he wants and still maintain that reality tearing type of power. And of course, he could also, like, erase your mind. He could, like, make your brain dead, or he could just melt you if he wanted to. He doesn't have to kill people in these sort of ways. He just does it because he can. And when I say melt people, I don't mean, like, you know, you see them melt until you see their skeleton. That, even for Gravity Falls, that's a little dark. Even though they legit had a child get eaten alive and killed. I'm not even kidding. One of the side characters was a child. Gets eaten and you never see him again. But he made previous appearances in other episodes. It's pretty fucked up. I don't think I've ever seen a Disney...
Yeah, it's very fucked up.
I don't think I've ever seen a Disney show where they killed a child on screen, and I'm not even saying like, oh, he gets eaten and swallowed whole. No, you hear him get crunched and swallowed. It's like,
Yeah. Not usually something for the kids to have happen to them. That's usually their parents.
Yeah.
I only just got back because Paige is at my door, and all I hear is he eats somebody. Like, what the fuck?
Okay, no.
Exactly!
No, I was making a reference to another monster eating a child in Gravity Falls. It was pretty fucked up. But Bill Cipher's not above, like, just torturing people, mentally fucking with them. He can also possess people if he wanted to. He'd done that to one of the main kids, and he's not very good at imitating people, to say the least, so... he could create illusions. He can, like, alter terrain. So one moment it's a nice forest, next moment it's boiling hot hellfire everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
What else do I have in my notes here? I want to point out something that's kind of interesting. I've already brought up the... I pretty much brought up a lot of his great things anyway. Oh yeah, you can fire lasers as well, but I don't think that's really interesting to bring up.
Firing my laser!
You won't make the time joke, but you'll make a joke about a freaking 20-year-old meme.
It's a joke we've never done on this show.
Fair enough.
He can also end. Okay, so I'm kind of confused by this because I actually got this note offline. So there was an episode he did enter the dream of one of the characters, but it's technically not possession. It's like possession. It's basically he's entering their mind, and like it's like his physical appearance is in their mind. I still count that as under possession. I just thought I'd bring that up.
It's
so
a
like
form of
Freddy
it, I would say,
Krueger.
yeah.
Yeah, so like Freddy Krueger then.
Pretty much. In fact, that's what led to essentially his defeat at the hand, or his demise. That we don't know if that's actually how he died, but it's hinted that it didn't kill him fully.
Yeah. The other thing, it seems to be completely invulnerable to all matters of harm. Blow him up, he'll just regenerate. Like erase him from existence, he'll just come back. Now, I will say that sort of thing, when that sort of thing happened originally in the show, it did take a few weeks. I mean, within the show, they say it's months, so I could be misinterpreting that. Well, I guess I am.
Which might not necessarily be helpful in a death battle.
No, so it could be possible he could die, but he'll just come back, but it depends on, like, there's always a certain circumstances with him. Like, for instance, if he breaks his deal, then he's imprisoned in his dimension again, and he has to work around, get summoned again.
Yep.
He can also... But even when at his full potential, when they tricked him and they started erasing him, but how it basically works is because he was in the mind, and because everything was being forgotten, he didn't necessarily die, it's just that he got forgotten. And maybe this could have been a way they were hoping to do a Gravity Falls Season 3, because they were able to remember... when like the uncle was able to remember everything again, that could maybe hint into how Bill was able to survive. But at the same time, he's also been erased before, but came back. So it's kind of like one of the... It's always been left as a mystery whether Bill is actually dead or not. But as thanks to The Simpsons, whether it's canon or not, people are still debating that. Even the creators kind of hint at it's canon. Bill Cipher did technically survive if we go on to that sort of theory, though. He got erased, he just got sent into a show that needed to die a long time ago.
Yeah.
It is really powerful, like, being able to... of course, the reason why these two are getting paired, yes, he can in fact destroy reality. In fact, before he died, he did try and offer, I will literally give you your own universe, please. So he can even create... Or maybe he was trying to say he will find a way to give someone their own, like, universe. So, there's a lot of power behind his character, but this isn't even saying when he's not using his full potential. In the actual lore of this character, it's stated he could destroy the multiverse. It's like, okay then. Now, obviously, he's holding back because he just likes to fuck around. He doesn't want to be that sort of crazy, sort of, Ultron-like character, like, I must destroy everything. He's like, you know what, I could destroy this world, but they have a good Taco Bell. He doesn't actually say that, I just thought I'd make a funny reference. But that's Bill Cipher. What about the man, or thing, Discord?
Well, Discord's got quite a few main abilities. His main thing is that he is a practitioner of chaos magic. You know, the same kind of thing that Scarlet Witch is able to do. He uses it mainly as a way of just basically alternating reality in fun and crazy ways. One of the most fun and hilarious ways that people really like it was one of his main. It was actually in his literal first appearance. He took a glass of chocolate milk, drank from it. The glass started disappearing. He held the chocolate milk as if it were a solid object, threw it behind him, and then it exploded.
What?
But that's a thing. He actually seems to have nigh omnipotence on his own. For example, he knew all of the different weaknesses and threats that each of the main six had with their abilities without ever even really needing to meet them or talk to them. He seems to be completely aware of the fourth wall. Oh, hey, yeah, he can do that. He has creation magic. He can make replicants of himself and other people. He's able to bring inanimate objects to life. He's able to separate parts of himself and make those function on their own, or even separate parts of other people and control them as much as he wanted. For example, he took off Celestia's tail and she didn't even realize it was gone. He can manipulate gravity. He can manipulate he can manipulate the power of celestial objects like the sun and the moon, just like Celestia are able to do. He's able to control the weather. He's got clairvoyance. He's able to petrify people. Remember, I said he helped with defeating those three villains before. Of course, Chrysalis, Tyrek, and Cozy Glow is her name. That's the filly that nobody likes. He's incredibly good at. He's an incredible master manipulator, and he's a pretty good trickster too. He seems to have, at the very least, type 1 immortality. For example, in an episode, The Last Problem, they actually look years into the future. This is the season finale, and he didn't seem to have any signs of aging. It's possible he is as old as Celestia and Luna are, and he stated he himself is centuries old. He obviously has Toon Force on his side, being a cartoon character. He's able to generate smoke, fire. He can consume forms of matter that shouldn't really be eaten and have no sort of side effects to them. He's able, like lava. He can teleport. He can time travel. He can create portals. He's great with hypnosis. He has telekinesis, as most magic users in My Little Pony are capable of do. He's capable of telepathy with other beings. He can shapeshift. He can change how big and small he himself is. He's able to he can return reality back to the way it was, even if it's not otherwise seen to be. He can store things up in portals. Really, the only thing that keeps Discord from really ever winning is just the plot says he loses here. In fact, at one point, he's able to fight against he fights against a group of enemies called changelings. They're ponies that have holes all over them like they're Swiss cheese, and they can shapeshift. The only thing that prevented him from really winning is they have something called anti-magic. But even Starlight Glimmer, another character from the show, who's another reformed villain, even she said that if he really wanted to, he could just defeat the entire Changeling army on his own by sneezing, making the threat to them null and void. The only other problem with him is that sometimes he doesn't think things through. When he's having too much fun with a problem, he usually forgets a couple of details.
Interesting. So, honestly, from everything we've said about these two characters,
they can basically do anything.
Yeah, it's
pretty much. And they seem to have good counters for one another's abilities.
Compared to the last episode, they both can pretty much do anything. They can be intangible, they can fire lasers, they can make duplicates, they can control the weather, control reality if they wanted to, and both.
Yeah, he's even been shown that he can actually take control. Even Discord has shown he can take over somebody's mind. He just usually prefers not doing that. Hell, he's even capable of necromancy, but that requires him to use runes.
Yeah, well...
But I think if I had to give a winner to this, though, it's been pretty clear to a lot of people. It looks like it's Bill that wins this.
I'm actually kind of split on this one. Like,
I have a question based on something that someone in one of my in my comment section said.
Okay.
They said that basically Discord becomes more powerful the more chaos there is around him.
Absolutely. The more that's how he broke free in the first place, was there was chaos. So his literal first appearance is in the cold open of the first episode of season 2, where a bunch of school children, or fillies and foals and stuff, basically are getting toured through the castle of Equestria, and they're brought into the maze that's in the castle, Canterlot Castle. The teacher, Tyralee, introduces what Discord is as a Draconicus, and 3 characters, the Cutie Mark Crusaders as they are known, they're popular characters, start getting into a sort of argument with each other, and it's that chaos that starts cracking Discord's statue until he eventually breaks free off screen.
Yeah, the thing about Bill Cipher as well is that the thing I'm getting from both these two characters, they also have no limit to what they do. Because obviously, if you took Bill Cipher and Discord during their early days of their shows, then there's a limit. But obviously, Death Battle don't do that. They look at what can they do at their max, and both of their max can just do whatever the fuck they want. So if
the problem is, though, I think with Discord is, like I said, he tends to overlook small details. For example, in season 9, he basically gets recruited by essentially all the other villains in the show that are the team of 3 that he had before, of Chrysalis, Cozy Glow, and Tyrek. They instructed him to get a bell. I forget what this bell does, but essentially, Discord was planning on using this bell himself in order to. He was essentially planning on getting Twilight and the other characters to basically know what he was doing, and basically he wasn't expecting they'd turn on him, so he was expecting to use the bell himself to basically stop them. He didn't realize, oh yeah, they're gonna betray you. Yeah. So he was planning on betraying them, but it backfired entirely because they got to him first.
A couple questions I do have, but I think it's better to save that till after the 60 seconds between you two.
Yes. So, Wolf, if you've seen some lads discuss death battles, we do this thing 60 seconds, which kind of started off as just a weird WWE sort of skit where, I don't know, you have to represent the other even if you think otherwise, which threw me through a loop at first. I didn't even know about this until it happened on the recording.
So we just stole it from Death Battlecast.
Sorry, I don't really see Discord winning this, honestly, but I will try my best.
Yeah, even if you don't think so, just big them up, basically. That's basically what these are. These are just hype things. I'm just looking at them as more 60 seconds of hype. That's what I'll call them.
Wolf, I had to do this for Super Friends Aquaman. I think you can do it.
Geez. All right, I'll try my best.
To be fair, Sean did actually make a good argument for Super Friends Aquaman, better than Death Battle.
I did a bunch of math, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
I
have a timer ready.
Alright, Sean's doing the timer. Oh yeah, I'm going first, aren't I?
Yeah, Bill, are you ready to represent Bill Cipher?
I will represent Bill on how Bills want to be represented.
Okay. In 3, 2, 1, Decipher.
Nice. Bill Cipher has so much in his arsenal that even at his limited potential, he's capable of wiping out planets, wiping out galaxies, wiping out entire universes at his minimum. He can mess with other characters that are said to be on like celestial type of power or reality warpers, and he just vaporizes them without using his full potential. So it's very clear that despite the fact Bill Cipher doesn't really quote-unquote fight, he's capable of doing all this type of power just from a flick of his finger. And of course he can alter deals so that they benefit him. He's a master manipulator. He can use his powers any way he basically wants as long as it gets him what he wants. And I'm just going to say, I see a big old triangle grave being put over Discord's head. That's the best I can really do, really. In terms of puns.
Alright, I'll stop the timer there. You had 4 seconds left. Nice job.
Nice.
Alright. Wolf, but you kind of get the idea of what you're going to try to do, right?
Yeah, I get the idea.
If
Alright,
you've
are you
seen
ready
Death Battle
then?
Cast, it's that.
Yeah.
Alright, are you ready then?
About as well as I can.
Alright. 3, 2, 1. Cause chaos.
All right, Discord is a very powerful being. Bill is powerful too, but Discord has never. While he's been defeated, there is no doubt that he has come back. There's no doubt of. You don't need to have the word of the creator saying, "Oh yeah, no, he's totally alive." Discord always seems able to come back, and like you said, the more chaos around him, the more powerful he gets. And given how much Bill likes to cause just as much chaos as Discord, it means as this fight goes on, Discord's probably only going to get stronger. Bill, as far as we know, doesn't seem to have any sort of defenses against things like hypnosis. He doesn't seem to have any sort of... He can easily be just as manipulated as other characters that Discord has trolled that are seemingly even weaker than what Bill is, and even ones that are stronger than him. Discord has the ability to just create as many beings around him that are just as powerful and duplicate himself. So Bill's gonna have to try and figure out which one is just as powerful too. And even if he tries to figure it out, Discord's probably got a plan.
Wolf, time's up.
Sorry, it's just I was getting too into this idea. It's difficult trying to actually figure out really who wins this. I think Bill wins this, honestly, but Discord, you could very easily make an argument for him.
Yeah, you brought up what was going to be the second part of my question, the whole, because of all the chaos going around, that Discord's just going to become more powerful. So basically, Bill Cipher will be like a battery for him.
Yeah, the other thing I was going to...
understanding that right.
The other thing I'm going to correct,
yeah,
Wolf, the things that you said, I don't think Bill Cipher's resisted this sort of things. He has.
I'm sure he has. I was trying my best. Okay,
So,
I was not fully prepared for this one.
Yeah,
I want to ask this first and foremost.
All right.
I remember this back in my Reed Rogers Raven vs. Twilight. Can Bill Cipher take away Discord's magic? Because I think Discord's magic is what keeps him immortal in a sense.
In a way, yes. He is immortal through his magic. As for whether or not Bill can take it away, well, that's up to what Bill is able to do.
I mean, I could do a lot of things, to be fair.
He can do a lot of things, but so can Discord. And I think it's also possible Discord... The question could also go back the other way. Can Discord take away Bill's power? I think both have that ability.
Wolf, I was making a joke. You said... Yeah, you said, Bill could do things... And the other thing, so...
I love how that was just no soul.
Sorry. Look, I've been going into this expecting that Discord's probably not going to win.
Okay, so the other thing I was going to mention, so mate, you were asking about the whole chaos thing. Couldn't he just feed off Bill? The thing, though, is... I think they would just cancel each other out, because both basically have a limitless source of power. As long as Bill Cipher exists within the world, he has the ability to do what he wants. Like I said, at its full potential, the multiverse can be torn apart. So,
Yeah, that's the thing, though. If at the height of his level, when he really is trying, Bill is practically unstoppable.
The other thing as well...
Like you said, the multiverse itself can be threatened. Discord, unfortunately, has never gone up against beings that powerful in his own series. I think at most what you can give... I think at most MLP is... Aside from warping reality, I think they're at the most planet level.
I was actually going to...
So I don't think...
I was actually going to ask that, Wolf. Can he resist being erased from existence?
Hold on a second. Do you want to say something, or did you...
Remember what you said about Discord being omnipotent, about, all knowledgeable?
Right? So he has a form of omniscience, yeah.
Yeah, so what if while he's going up against Bill Cipher, he already knows how Bill Cipher's been defeated, and then just triggers that to happen again.
He could try that. But to answer your question, Bill, he doesn't really seem to have existence erasure. The problem is the fact that in order for him to be erased, he has to stop causing chaos for a long enough amount of time. And not just, like, prevent any, like, not do anything. He has to literally just, like, decide to stop causing chaos willingly and start trying to be more harmonious.
Well, couldn't you also argue the whole... Can you also argue the whole omnipotence thing, for example? Can you argue that was mostly because he was a statue in that town, so of course he technically does know the weakness of the ponies because they were in the town?
Phil did bring up a good point. As far as I can tell, yeah, Bill is a threat, but he's never... I don't think... He has to physically try to kill the thing and not just decide, okay, you no longer exist, stop.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever shown to do that, because if he did, he would have gotten rid of any threats along the way. He would have done that in Season 1.
Actually, he has done that. When he did go up against a lot of characters that could just kill him, he killed them first immediately without messing around. Like we mentioned, the time baby.
That is true. That is true, like you said, the time baby.
The only reason he didn't do that to all the other main characters was because he's a troll. He likes to mess with people.
He is a troll.
But the moment,
so is Discord.
So the moment, like, you know, his whole plan during Weird Geddon was threatened, that's when he started to be like, right, that's it, I'm done playing. I'm going to kill one of these kids unless you give me what I want. And of course, he still kept to the whole, my only request is that you leave my brother and grandchildren alone. He just goes, fine. Now, obviously, will Bill Cipher have kept to that deal? Probably not.
Probably not, but that would have been a problem for him later. But I didn't hear what you were asking before, Sean. That's my bad, because I had Phil behind me trying to explain stuff to me.
So, the thing I was asking about, the whole omnipotent thing about how he knew, like, the ponies, couldn't you argue that was because he was a statue in that said town, but word got around about them?
Not as likely. He was literally in essentially in a maze, in a garden maze, and because of how far away all the events of what happened took place essentially in Ponyville, which we don't know how far away it is, but it is at least a several-hour manual flight by ponies there. So it's not necessarily that he would have found out that way.
Alright, so we are getting to the 2-hour mark, so I think we should wrap this up. So the final point I'm going to make before I decide my conclusion, and trust me, I'm even still kind of thinking about both sides of what I've heard. The other thing as well, if you give that to Discord, you kind of have to give that to Bill Cipher. Despite the fact he's never met a lot of characters before, he knows everything about them. Like, remember the whole Gideon thing, when Gideon goes, how do you know everything about me? I know lots of things. And he does that deep, lots of things. And not only that, when he does eventually meet the characters, he knows about them. So,
I will say, I think Discord is not mentally. I think in terms of planning, Discord does tend to overlook a few things here and there that tend to be problems for him. So, I don't know if Bill has literal anti-magic. If he did, that would immediately shut down, like, everything Discord can do.
Yeah,
I will say, I do think it is still...
I guess it depends
I still think it is a close fight.
I guess it depends on what you give. What do you classify as anti-magic? Because if you're going by something that can erase all your matter or can arrange your matter so you die, then Bill Cipher has that, like... Alright, so...
No, it's literally a thing like... I think like literally a force called anti-magical stuff.
Oh, so it's kind of like
not
kryptonite.
Just, I can erase you, that kind of thing, because Discord does have good control over himself. So it's just, I think, with the strength.
Kind of like Osta's Sword's essentially being like anti-magic is what you mean.
So
yeah, essentially like Osta's Sword.
It's kind of like kryptonite, so it's like a weakness within that world.
Yes.
And unless something's similar to that weakness, then it won't work. So, alright, so...
Yeah, which I don't Bill has, but I still think Bill has plenty of other ways he could win this fight.
I think just erasing him from existence, if Discord can't sort it out himself, and if he's really not on a multiversal level, I will say, this fight, to quote classic Wiz, is very close. In fact,
It is.
Alright, so Wolf, you're committed to Bill Cipher?
Yeah, this sounds like
I still have to say this. I think goes to Bill.
So I think this is still hard. I will say, I think depending on who I go for, doesn't mean I'm 100% certain, but at Discord...
Yeah, this is one of those things of, if you analyze this fight like thousands of times, I think both would take like a good chunk of wins. I just think Bill takes more wins.
I think this is like Zatanna versus Scarlet Witch. After learning about Zatanna...
I was about to bring that up.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because originally I went into it Scarlet Witch, I still committed to that, but I did not think it was as one-sided as I thought. I was like, okay, Zatanna's actually got a lot on her hands. This is a similar case. I was thinking, okay, Discord kind of just seems like an MLP character, which they're powerful, but not really on Bill Cipher. I was wrong, like, from the crossover, but we still left some things vague because we wanted to wait a bit. But after what you said, it's like...
Yeah.
And I don't want to just say, oh, I'm going to toss a coin, because I actually want to say it and just let it be my word. And this could just be my bias side kicking in, but I think in Bill Cipher, with his whole multiverse level threat at its max, like if we just went by Bill Cipher just at the finale of the show, I would probably say Discord. But of course, you have
I think that's a good idea. I think that's good reasoning, because we go by what we have fully seen with Gravity Falls itself. And
right.
Exclude Word of God stuff, exclude potential, like, is it canon or not? I think in that case, we've seen, at most what we've seen with Bill isn't enough to stand up to Discord. But given all the details, I think, yeah, it is Bill in this case.
It's kind of like with Alduin in Skyrim. If you just go by the gameplay and the boss fights, Alduin's a pushover. But by the lore of this character, he can basically infinitely eat the universes. That's basically Bill Cipher. And I was really surprised at just how OP Bill Cipher was. Yeah, he can manipulate reality, but the genie could do that in Disney as well. So it's like, how impressive is that?
They're similar. It's just the fact that they have a lot of similarities, and it's easy to see why this became a 2D fight that won the Champions Ballot.
It is very split. So I'm committed to Bill Cipher. Could I be biased? I'm probably going to say I am, people. So
I'm trying not to be biased, even though I have seen Gravity Falls. I like Gravity Falls. I just liked MLP more. But I'm not going to be biased. I think Bill wins this. But I do think if you told me, oh yeah, Discord wins this, I would say, yeah, you know what? That's a fair point.
So
you're not entirely wrong. I think Discord could win a few.
So your only mate. After everything you've heard, what's your thoughts on these characters, and who do you think is going to win?
Okay, so admittedly, I kind of went into this with the idea of, like, okay, so if Discord's whole thing is he becomes more powerful, like, the more chaos there is, given everything that's going to be happening in the fight, then he's just going to always have the edge in, like, the power department, or, like, keep it going. Kind of like with Flash versus Sonic, where they both had infinite speed, but Wally could always ensure that he was faster because of speed absorption, and basically the super forms were like living batteries. I thought was a similar case. But if Bill is just like that much more powerful, then the fight needs to go on for a while for Discord to reach that level of power.
And I don't think Bill's willing to let it go on for a while if he's really getting serious. He'll just immediately end it.
Yeah, and that's the thing with death battles as well. It's just like, okay, so both going at their peak, who wins?
And Bill has shown in the show that the moment things start getting serious, like with the Time Baby, he's like, do you know what? Fuck you, and just erased him. So, if he starts getting that idea from Discord, he's just going to think, right, you need to die.
So, based on everything we've talked about, I'm probably going to side with Bill Cipher as well. I mean, if there's anything else I expect from this fight, just a wacky as all hell animation.
I hope it gets...
Oh yeah, this is gonna be easily the this is going to be on par, hopefully, with the best animation of the season.
They need to have a creepy moment as well. Like, I don't know, maybe Discord's trapped somewhere and Bill Cipher's like a giant eye behind him, like watch it. Something like Sauron versus the Lich Kid when he just became the Eye of Sauron and looked down.
Yeah, and it's shown in Gravity Falls. There is hints that, oh yeah, Bill's been around for a while. It's not just been in the one season finale and then later on.
He is
like Summerween. He actually makes a sort of appearance, kind of as a hint.
Yeah. I think it's stated. I can't remember what it said in the show. I didn't hear it, so I looked up online. It says he's 3 trillion years old. So he.
Yeah.
So he does. So he probably has experience as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, mate, you alright?
I think either way, this should be good. He might be.
I tried to unmute myself because I sneezed.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So mate, you're committed to Bill Cipher?
At the moment, yeah.
Shawnee, after everything you've heard, who are you going for?
I think the thing that's sticking out for me right now is something Wolf said. Discord can overlook details. And yes, both are manipulative enough. But I think Discord has been fooled more times than Bill Cipher has, right?
Well, that's more just because of how many appearances we've seen between the two. But
that's still a solid factor in a close debate like this.
Yeah, both it's their own brains that essentially make them lose fights. Discord's ego and overlooking details, and Bill's ego and basically underestimating the people that he's going up against.
Yeah, because if Bill Cipher did take every single fight seriously, he would have just reset the planet. I think he's even made a point that he could just do that, but he just enjoys the torment. So,
yeah.
Now, that could be used as a disadvantage as well, so if he doesn't take Discord seriously at first, that could... Because the thing, like we said, Bill can technically die, and he could be out of commission for... It could be days, it could be weeks or months, so...
Which, as we saw with Phoenix versus Raven, that's enough to count as a win.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter if the Phoenix comes back. If you're dead in this fight, you're dead.
Could that logic also apply if Bill Cipher just petrified Discord as also?
He can manipulate emotions as well, so... Sorry, I forgot to actually mention that.
It depends. What would have to happen is he would need to put Discord somewhere where there can't be any chaos and then petrify him. Because if there starts being chaos around him, Discord's immediately just gonna break out.
Yeah, so... Sean?
I think I'm gonna go with Bill Cipher on this one.
Alright.
Yeah.
4-way Bill Cipher. Could we be wrong? Maybe, but honestly, this is one of those matchups where I can't even be mad if I am wrong. Like...
No, I don't think...
Because it's
I think...
Even now, I'm thinking, should I go for Discord? Because there's this other thing that Wolf mentioned, but Bill could do this. So I guess I
think both of them have that thing of really, you should be happy if either one wins, because it's not like the other is that much of... It's not like the other can't do similar things. It's just... It depends on who you ask in this case.
Well, I mean, depending on how you describe Discord, if I had to say who would I want to win, I think I'd want Discord because Bill Cipher just wants to torment and destroy everything.
Yeah. Also, if you're a D&D fan, Discord is also a fan of D&D. Or at least it's My Little Pony equivalent.
What do you think? My dice is at D20, Wolf. What do you think?
Yeah, you definitely would like him because he plays a game, their equivalent is called Ogres and Opulence.
That's great, but...
Alright, so...
Final thought, I'm gonna go Bill Cipher.
Right, and so... I think that's a good way to end the episode, so... that, people, was our thoughts on Martian Manhunter and the Silver Surfer, and our thoughts on the next time. Honestly, I think out of all the matchups this season, this has been the one that I've been most... Like, I actually have a headache now. So it's just like... Like, I might have to take some ibuprofen.
I should have been a little more prepared for this, but because I probably could have given an even better defense for Discord, but I've been so busy and it's been so... There is so much to look into for both.
Hey, no, you're fine. And if you guys want to know more stuff about Wolf, he did appear on the Bro Buzzcast, so
I also have my own YouTube channel, and I'm working on a project for a video.
Yeah, so...
Let's just put it that way.
Alright, so I guess we're getting to outro. So, Wolf, thank you for coming on, and sorry about the glock to the face, except I'm not sorry.
Like I said, I have Alucard levels of healing, so don't worry about it.
Oh god, every guest we have just claims they have the best healing factor ever. That's the problem with nerd culture. You guys make yourselves broken. So, I mean, compared to real life, where we just get our shit handed to us by a man in an alleyway. So, yeah, people, if you enjoyed what you saw here, and leave us your thoughts on Martian Manhunter versus Silver Surfer. What did you think about this matchup? Are you conflicted like we are, or are we missing something? Maybe this episode's actually more one-sided and we're just ignorant, because that's happened in the past. With all that said and done, thank you all so much for watching, and if you enjoyed what you saw here, be sure to stick around. We'll have more content like this in the future. Your only mate.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe. If you did not enjoy, be sure to like and subscribe. Check out everyone's channels, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Shawnee.
Thank you, folks, for watching. I hope you enjoyed the session of Let's Go Death Battle. Thanks again to Wolf for joining us on this special occasion. Let us know your thoughts down below on Dawn versus Norin, and who do you got in Bill versus Discord? Love reading your comments. Thank you folks for watching. I will see you all later.
Hey Wolf, do you remember when you lost that Among Us game of Guess Who?